I'm going to be a little controversial in my approach to this. Look, I'll open the door and we can take a peek inside. It is a mess. I'm telling you, it is a mess. It is done. Let me just turn the camera around and I will let you see. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So here we are, getting through February, spring almost upon us. It's been big birthday season here in my home, so I've been really busy. Husband's 60th. Today that I'm filming this is actually my son's 30th birthday, so you can see the balloons behind us. We had big full family celebrations at the weekend, got immediate family coming over tonight. Just been really busy, a busy season. And what happens when you have a really busy season, at least for me, is the house just gets a bit upside down. And I was just thinking that I really need a complete spring reset. And maybe that's something that you need too. Coming out of the winter season where we're just hunkering down and hibernating, there's a reason that spring cleaning is at the time of year that it is. You want to get the windows open, you want to get fresh air through the place, you just want to breathe life back into your space. And so my plan for the next few weeks is to run a series of videos. Maybe like me, you've got some spots in your house that really could do with a big declutter. And again, if you're like me, probably enjoy a bit of watching YouTube videos where people are cleaning and decluttering and organising. Why is that? I think it's because it's validating. It shows us that other people have got those spaces in their house too. You know, corners where the stuff just gets shoved and the door gets closed or the drawer gets closed. We're not alone in that at all. And so it's kind of validating when you see other people with those spaces too. And I think it can be motivating because you kind of think, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. There's tips and hints and tricks. You might see me use something in a different way to corral things or organize things. So for all of those reasons, I thought I would run a series of videos, complete reset for spring, bit of decluttering, bit of organizing, both inside and kind of outside. I'm really desperate to get some little kind of spring flowers in my front door planters, you know, all of that. So as I say, over the next few weeks, stick with me. You'll want to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. We can be accountable to each other. We can motivate each other. Let me know in the comments what you're doing, what spots in your home you think, right, I'm going to vow to get these done over the next kind of 6 weeks too. So let's tackle this together and do a bit of a complete spring reset and refresh in our homes. Are you in? Let's go. Okay, so the first space that I'm going to tackle is my kitchen cupboard, my big walk-in pantry cupboard. And I'm going to be a little controversial in my approach to this. I'll tell you why just in a minute, but let me turn the camera around and we will have a look. I'll open the door and we can take a peek inside. Ta-da! It is a mess. I'm telling you, it is a mess. The last time I tackled this was a lockdown project. So back in 2020, can that really be 4 years ago? Is that right? 21, 22, 23. 4 years ago, because it was kind of spring, wasn't it? March that we went into lockdown. So 4 years since this was properly tackled. That's shocking to me. Anyway, there are some things that work in it. There are some things that just do not work. But let's just turn the camera around and I will let you have a closer look. So it is a huge walk-in cupboard, which is fantastic to have. It is completely shelved, which is great. But everything is just a bit out of place. Everything is just kind of shoved where there is a space. We've got a pot that I used at the weekend. It's just been put there. It should go right up on the top shelf, but in the spot where it is, there's another box that's been put there and I need steps to get up to it and I haven't bothered doing that. I've just shoved it in there. There's boxes of glasses from the big party that we had that are just in there. Some wine delivery, the dog bowls for my son's dog who visits occasionally, so they shouldn't be front and centre. They should be tucked away. There's just things shoved in there. There's a bit of food going on here. Some eggs that are just kind of shoved wherever, you know, there's a space. chocolates left over from Christmas. There are some things that work really well. I've got this spice rack on the wall, which I'm sure was from Amazon. I will link it below in the description. If I find any products that I think will be useful, I'll pop the links in the description box. That works really, really well there because it's just easy to find what you need. The camera's not focusing. Find what you need, take it out, and then just pop it back again. I've got my cordless vacs. It's obviously out somewhere in the house, but it normally hangs here on permanent charge, which is great. When I did the last big reorganisation, I bought these hanging baskets, which work somewhat, but decor items on the top here. Obviously, I need steps to get up to them, so the stuff at the back just never gets used. A lot of this needs completely cleaned out and probably given away to charity, goodwill, what have you. And there'll be stuff tucked at the back here. I don't know, is your house the same? How many water bottles do one couple need? There's not even a family living here now. And we've got water bottles and coffee cups breeding here. I've got baking stuff. The flour is probably 3 years out of date. So all of this needs to be completely decluttered. And here's where I'm going to be slightly controversial in my approach to this. A lot of organisers might tell you to do the declutter, get rid of all the stuff that you're not going to be putting back in there, and then only when you've got what's definitely going back in and needs to be organised do you go out and purchase any bins or boxes or whatever you need to organise and corral your things. That doesn't work for me, and I'll tell you why. Because a project like this, where I have to empty everything and it will end up on every surface in this kitchen, all over my table, I want the satisfaction and the ability to be able to put it all back organised in the same day, in the same session. So what I'm going to do is I've got my measuring tape here. I'm going to do a little bit of measuring. So I'm going to measure, my spaces between the shelves and between the bottom shelf and the floor and that type of thing, so that I know my sizes. But then I'm going to go out and buy a whole load of options. Now, that's not too difficult for me because I'm lucky enough to live close to an Ikea. There's one 20 minutes away, and we've got TK Maxx, HomeSense really close by. So it's easy enough for me to be able to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff, use what I need, and then just take back and return the things that I don't need. And obviously I'm going to measure first. There's no point in buying bins and baskets and things that just don't fit. So I wouldn't do that. But I don't know yet, before I empty everything, what I'm going to need. And as I say, it just doesn't work for me to have everything out everywhere, put it half back and think, right, I need something to, I need a box to put these items in. No, I would rather just go out and get a whole selection of things so that I can pick and choose on the day or on the decluttering session, and then just return anything that I don't need. So let's do a bit of measuring. I do want to stick with white, keep it nice and light and bright in there. I quite like these baskets here. They're exactly the right height and you can just pull them out and get into them, so that might be good. This range here is quite interesting as well. Excuse the noise, they're doing renovations in the store on the other side of this wall. But these are quite good because you can see through them, and so you get an idea of what's inside without having to label them. But it's sort of obscured. It just kind of corrals everything with lots of different sizes available. I like the look of this one too. I think I'm trying to create a sort of drawer effect on those shelves where I can just slide the box out and get easily to the things that are inside it instead of it all being just piled up on the shelves. So now the following day with the big birthday dinner last night, got to Ikea, didn't get much else done on the project, just with sorting out all the bits and pieces for the dinner, having the family over. So it's now the next again day. It is pouring with rain outside. It is so very windy. It really is the perfect day for an indoor project like this. So I've just popped up a couple of tables. My plan is to completely empty the pantry cupboard and put everything out on tables, try and put sort of like for like before I make decisions about what I'm getting rid of, what I'm keeping. Now, arguably you could tackle this by doing it a shelf at a time, making the decision, you know, the whole handling once thing, you know, just making the decision as you take it out of the cupboard. Are you keeping it, are you not? As I said, a bit controversial, that just doesn't work for me. I need to see everything laid out so that I can pick and choose from the like items what I'm keeping and what I'm giving away. So I need the whole cupboard emptied first. We'll lay everything out and see where we are when we get to that point. An empty cupboard, hooray! That was quite the feat. I can't believe how much stuff came out of there. And I rediscovered so much stuff that I was thinking, I could have used this for XYZ if only I'd remembered that I had it. And that's the big problem with a really, really cluttered cupboard when stuff gets stuck at the back. What I actually can't believe is how much stuff came out of it. Let me turn the camera around and just show you. We'll have a quick look at the cupboard first and then I will show you the rest of the room. So empty shelves, fantastic. It needs a really good clean now. I will get the hot water and the soap and give it a super clean. Spice rack's still on the wall, I haven't touched that. And my Dyson hanging there, but yeah. The rest of it is all completely empty. I've got one little mini vac that's actually plugged in there, so that's why it's sitting there. But it just needs a really, really good clean. And then all this room full of stuff. Tried to separate it as I've brought it out. So I've got kind of dishes and, you know, kitchen equipment like my slow cooker and things down there, all the boxed glasses, the wine, kind of got mostly food stuff on this table here. It still needs to be gone through to check what's expired, etc. I've got kind of odds and sods at the back here, just bits and pieces, everything from water bottles hot water bottles, oven pans, all sorts of things there. So that all needs gone through. On this side, it's mostly the decorative items. I've got water crafts and coffee crafts up there, and then a whole load of vases. A lot of these will go. They were stuck at the back, stuff that I never ever use. So I'll get those away to the charity shop. But of course my boxed seasonal mugs at the bottom. And yeah, just lots and lots of stuff to go through. Okay, so while the cupboard floor is drying, quick word about how I'm going to tackle this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the bits and pieces in the cupboard that I picked up, the storage bins, and just play around with those and just see how I think I might want to organise it. Clearly, I'm going to have to change it up as I go, but I'm going to use that as a starting point. And then I'm going to go around all the stuff that's here. And food stuff, obviously, I'm just going to be taking out what's expired, what packets have been opened, they've dried up, they're no good, they can all go. The other stuff, I'm going to kind of shop my own goods, if that makes sense. I'm going to go around and look at everything and decide, if I saw this in a store now, would I still buy it? And if the answer is yes, it goes back in the cupboard. If the answer is no, then if it's damaged or broken, it goes out to the bin. Otherwise, it's going to go to the charity shop, recycled, whatever. Because I think that's quite a good way to do it. It's just, it helps you, rather than have to pick up every single item and say, do I want it? Do I not want it? I find it easier to just kind of peruse everything and pick out, as if I was shopping in a store, pick out the things that catch my eye and that I want to go back in the cupboard. Now, clearly I have got things that I only ever use in the summer when we've got loads of people around, maybe we're doing a big barbecue or something. I have got Christmas products, goods, Christmas dishes, that kind of thing, that I'll only ever use at Christmas. And I'm okay with that because we have got a decent amount of storage space. But you might not. You just might have to whittle it down to all the things that you use all the time. And if it's something that you're only ever going to use once a year, the answer might be that you have to ship it out. But I'm okay. I've got a few things that I know that I will only use seldomly. But I know, as I was emptying the cupboard, there are things in there that I haven't used for years. So they're going to go. So I picked up this little cart in Ikea. I'll link it below. I'm sure it was about £22, I think. Little cart on wheels. I wasn't 100% sure it would fit in the space, but when you buy something and then you try it and then it's like angels are singing. Look at that! It just fits perfectly. So that's definitely a keeper. The other things that I picked up, so I picked up 3 different sort of sizes or 3 different kinds of bins. I've got this one here, which is just a hard plastic bin. And the thing that I liked about this was that it's got, almost like a drawer, easy to pull out and not overly heavy if you need to lift the whole thing down. So I've got 6 of these. I also picked up this one that you probably saw me looking at, and I've just double checked it for size. I had measured it, but you just never know. But yep, that fits in perfectly, and width-wise, that is great as well. And it's got a little notch on the front, so I'll be able to pull that out. And similarly, I thought I would just break it up with some of this kind of rattan as well. So again, great for height. It's exactly the same size as the other one, so it'll be fine for width. And again, it's got this detail on it, which will allow me just to sort of pull it out. I also picked up 3 of these, which are like little miniature Lazy Susans for putting cans and things on. You know, sometimes when you're organising a pantry, you just have to try things and see if it works in practicality. And I think these are not too expensive. I think these are £7 maybe. So yeah, I'm going to give these a go and just see if they work for me. And again, maybe controversial because this is the way that everybody on YouTube seems to organise their pantries, but what I am not going to be doing and not using are these type of containers. I've got one of these that we keep for granola with the breakfast things, but I am not going to be decanting all of my flour and cereal and pasta and have it in little clear containers and have it all labelled. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm just not. So that isn't happening. So don't be looking for that. But hopefully the bigger bins are going to work for me, because then I can put all those random packets that you normally see people decanting into these style containers. I'll be able to corral them all into those bigger boxes. And again, just need to see if it works for me. So a quick look and see where we are. I've just put them kind of anywhere just now. I know that we'll probably move them. I've got a limitation here because this bracket doesn't allow me to put 2 of these side by side, so that's why I've kind of alternated them. From a purely aesthetic point of view, I kind of want the wicker ones front and center as you come in the door, because they're just much prettier than the other ones. There's no brackets on this side under the shelf, so I can put those side by side. But I'll just have to wait until I start putting things back and see what works. The one thing I do want to do though is that very top shelf, my boxes of extra glasses that I have for parties and events, they're going to go up there, and any of the items that I just only use maybe once or twice a year, they are going to go up on that top shelf right away. So let's start there. So this is where I'm starting to shop my own products. So I've got some Christmas bits here. I need to decide what's staying, and I've also got some just garden summer platters down there that I use for kind of chips and dips, and there's a big platter on the bottom that I use for kind of barbecues and things, and some other Christmas dishes over here. So I'm going to decide what's staying, what's going, and then they will go up on that top shelf too. So the food is mostly handled. I've got just a couple of things here still to sort, and now I'm going to turn my attention to the dishes and a couple of the big pans. I have a pan drawer that most of my pans live in, but these two big kind of soup tureen or soup pots rather, they don't fit in the drawer, so they get stored in this big cupboard. So I think we're all the same. We all have, you know, sentimental dishes. This was my mother-in-law's dish, so, you know, I probably won't use it very much, but I definitely want to hang on to it. Some of these I just use infrequently for big salads in the summer and that type of thing. These bowls are great for when I've got a crowd round and I'm putting out different bits and pieces. Again, most of these dishes, this type of dish, I'm not using every day. My everyday kind of casserole dishes are all in a different drawer. So most of these are occasional use. So let's see what's going back and what I am going to donate. So I've laid out all of these items that came from the top shelf, all crammed in on the top shelf on that cupboard. And I'm now going to just imagine if I was walking into somewhere like HomeSense, TK Maxx or a store like that, would I actually pick them off the shelf and choose to buy them again? And honestly, there's probably a handful. A couple of things that jump out, these hurricane vases, which are actually more sort of Christmas winter decor with the trees on them. I would pick those up again. The glass candlesticks, pretty neutral, can never go wrong. Coloured vases, I'm over, they can all go. There is a little spring accent at the back here, great for just popping on a tree as part of some spring decor. I think I just got that like last year maybe from Sainsbury's Habitat, so that can stay. But interestingly, there's a similar one beside it, just some faux flowers in a bottle, and that's really doing nothing for me, so I think that's probably going to just go. These other faux flowers can just go. Couple of things up here. These I probably will keep. They're great for a little autumn accent. They're an interesting shape. They look lovely with twinkle lights in them because of this sort of cut glass style. They're actually really heavy, and as I say, just as a little autumn accent to sort of switch up the decor at that time of year, these are great. So yeah, and the little glass tea light holders, these just got decanted out of a box here. These are great for table decor for dinners. I used them for the big dinner a couple of weeks ago, so they just happen to be there, but I'm definitely keeping them. And at the end, I discovered some mirror plates that I forgot that I even owned. So these are great for centre of a dinner, you know, for tablescapes. Pop some candles on them and you get the light reflected, and it just makes some interest to a tablescape for a dinner. So I'm definitely keeping those. And yeah, so out of all of these, there might be the odd one or two thing, but most of it can just go to a new home now. So here we are, day 3. Honestly, after me saying at the beginning, I need to get it all done in one session, I need to get it all done in the one day. Yeah, didn't quite happen like that. That was certainly my intention, but I've had all sorts thrown at me this week. And it was kind of stop-start. If I'd had a whole day to do it, I probably could have got it all done in the one day, in the one session. But I had to, in the end, stop and start and got caught up with other things. However, it is done. Let me just turn the camera around and I will let you see. So here is my pile of bags here ready to go out to the charity store. That's all my donate pile. So that'll be a job for the next couple of days. And here we are in the finished cupboard. I'm so excited. I keep just opening the door and having a look at it because it fills me with so much joy. Crazy. It's the small things. It's the small things. So there we go. All the boxes. And then down this side, I managed to pick up this other little rack that works great for all the kind of nuts and snacks and things there. And because I've cleared so much out, these boxes up here are actually empty at the moment, but I've got ideas of things I want to pull from elsewhere and start storing in this cupboard rather than where they are. But yeah, I think the boxes work pretty well because I've been able to sort of pile things, like there's some bowls piled up in there that I wouldn't have ordinarily been able to do. I've got kind of cake stands all piled up in that one that just keeps it all neat looking. And I do like the mesh ones because I can kind of see in here, this has got like flasks and sort of picnic stuff. This has got all the water bottles tossed in here. I actually think this one's empty as well. And I've got just kind of the wine on the bottom, but I've got all these, the coffee capsules in there. And I've got all my sort of tea bags and coffee and things in there. So yeah, it just makes it all a lot easier. And it means that everything's got its place. What happened before was things would just spill out and end up spilling all over the rest of the cupboard. Whereas now everything is in its place. It's got its own spot. If the box gets too full, it means no more of that thing can go in the cupboard. I also just utilise, just so that you know what they are, these are actually children's stools from Ikea, and I use them for events and things, just to on a table to pop up and cover them with a cloth to display things. And I had them, I don't need them anymore, so I decided to utilise them in here. Basket underneath works really well as a drawer to put sort of packets and things in, and it just means I can store my heavy pan above it, and the same on that side too. So that's what that is. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy. So first project in this Spring Refresh Reset series complete. Do let me know in the comments below if I've hopefully inspired you to tackle a spot in your home this week. It is going to be a series, so I'll be doing a few more of them, moving around the home, different spots, bit of outside space as well. So you're definitely going to want to hit the subscribe button so that you know where to find me again, and so we can keep each other accountable as well. Again, drop me a comment and let me know what you have tackled. Even if you just put a comment in saying, I'm going to do it, then sometimes that can help with the accountability, because once you've said you're going to do it, if you've told me you're going to do it, I'll be checking in with you next week just to see if you have. Look, try and have fun with it, enjoy it, let's see what we can accomplish together, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.